and welcome to Women in Sport Africa, a show that shines the spotlights on women that have done incredible things, from the athletics track to behind the scenes as well. And our guest, if you missed it last week, was Nontuthuko Mashimane, and she's done it both. She's chasing her 9th Comrades Marathon this year, but we want to learn more about her, from her leadership to the charity work that she's involved in. So you want to stay tuned and listen to this incredible story of an incredible female athlete. And our conversation with Nontuthuko continues. I want to talk about your relationship with First, the title First to do ABC. And for us females, and then black females, it happens a lot where we'll hear so-and-so is the first to do ABC. How do you view that? Is it a matter of I'm happy to have accomplished this, or I shouldn't be the first after so many years to be the first lady of color in this role?
I believe everything comes when it's supposed to come. Sometimes we demand things to happen because, hey, we're in this era where things should be happening that way. But then I feel when things happen, they happen at the right time. There's never a wrong time. So for me, this role came at the right time. For me as Nontuthuko, but also for me as a woman and a woman of color. There had to be some kind of readiness for this role to be taken, and I feel that it is at the right time. Was it something that I was seeking? Never. I think at the end of the day, what I was seeking in the running fraternity is to, number one, just bring change in the little group that I'm in my community. Add value to people that are around me, and try and make more women be part of that space, because we are lacking a lot of women in sports in general, and also in running. I mean, if you look at the numbers, particularly at Comrades, it's very low comparing to men. And that number, it really literally shows you the number, but then also it's deeper than just a number. There's so many aspects that women have to, put on the table with regards to training for something like the Comrades Marathon. Yeah. It is tough to run to train for the Comrades Marathon. It is long months. It needs dedication. It needs time. And our everyday women, they don't have the time because they have to be mothers, partners, wives. Yeah. They've got careers now. We've got to look after a home. There's so much on their plate, but still, there are women, just like you and I, who still make time to go and train and make it to the start line of the Comrades Marathon. And that's the narrative I think I want people to understand, that you can be wearing so many hats as a woman, but when you find your why you need to run the Comrades Marathon, it is possible. There's so many women out there who are doing the same. And there's so many women achieving it year in, year out. Yeah. I've experienced women who run the Comrades Marathon, they found out that they're pregnant after they ran it, and they ran pregnant, they have babies, they come back and they still run. Showing you how incredible the woman's body is, and how it can literally heal itself and come back and still take on such a grueling ultra-distance event. Yeah. So for me, wearing this cap or this hat as a Comrades Marathon vice chairperson, being a woman of color, it's a lot of responsibility on my shoulders, where there needs to be change during the time that I'm there, so that other women will be able to take up the space that I've made. So I mean, sports, especially running, especially the Comrades Marathon, is a male-dominated space. I remember back in the days, women were not even allowed to participate. Women who did participate, they were disqualified. They were not giving a medal up until they were allowed to run. And then now we've got women breaking boundaries with the actual running and breaking records. So it is, evolved. The sport has revolved even in the admin side of things in sports, we need to evolve, and we are evolving. It might be slow, but the fact is we are, and we need to appreciate that.
And I mean, the perception as Black females, most of the time, you see it on social media as well, that when your leader is a Black female, it gets a little complicated. And I think it's got to be a grace issue, because as you've mentioned, being a female that's going to do Comrades, the amounts of training that you need to put in a week, the amounts of races to be able to qualify, do you feel like that grace is something that sometimes we also don't have, even amongst each other as females?
Definitely, but then it's the grace that we need to pray for, and it's a grace that we need to be intentional about. Because if we don't, then we'll never do anything. We'll just sit at home. So same thing with running the Comrades, literally from Durban to Maritzburg, then there's running the Comrades in the background. It takes a lot, because there's a lot to do. And you're still wearing those caps as a wife, as a mom, and career woman. You've got a business and then you're an administrator at the Comrades Marathon, which is a huge role. You have people that you are leading, so it does need grace, and with intention, it can happen. I think women actually were born to be multitask, and that is exactly what women showcase when they are taking on events like the Comrades Marathon, showcasing that we can do all things. You just need to be intentional about it.
So now looking at we spoke about your mom and the role that she played, your parents in general, with your upbringing as well. And you said that you, for sure, your role models growing up were definitely your parents. But are there any other females over the years that you've looked at and thought, these women are incredible, and I model my journey after theirs as well?
Okay, so not necessarily in sport, but as a woman in general, and as a woman in business, and a woman in the forefront when it comes to media attention, I guess. I think Connie Ferguson, for me, is one of the women that I really look up to. Just her demeanor, just the way she carries herself, how she takes herself seriously in her work, how she's a family-oriented woman, so people like that. But then in the sports field, you've got people like Gerda Steyn, young, never thought that she wanted to run, and then when she was intentional about it, she's breaking records. You've got people like Blanche Mola, who ran during the times where things were tough in this country, but she stood there and she represented, and we are running today because of people like her, who took on the stage, and they wore those trainers or their tackies, and they ran, but they only got their flowers post-apartheid, but they still soldiered on, and they did what they needed to do. And whether they knew it or not, but they did it for a bigger cause. It's for women like me and yourselves in the sports to actually have a space on the table.
Nontuthuko is also passionate about charity and community. So after the break, when we come back on Women in Sport Africa, we're going to touch on that and start building up to the big race, the ultimate human race, the Comrades Marathon, and that's coming up after the break. Welcome back to Wiser, Women in Sport Africa, and today we are having a sit-down, a wonderful conversation with Nontuthuko Mashimane. Nontuthuko, charity forms part of your work, not just for Comrades. As you said, that part of why your why when it comes to running is charity. And through the conversations that we've had, it comes from home, it comes from that sense of taking care of people. What work are you currently busy with where charity is concerned?
Okay, the Comrades Marathon has 6 official charities, and they all do wonderful work. We've got CHOC, which deals with children with cancer. We've got Rise Against Hunger, which deals with hunger issues in Africa, South Africa, Africa and beyond. We have Sandpark, which is South African Honorary Rangers, which deals with nature and conservation. They've got HACT, which has to do with looking after people living with HIV and AIDS. We have Childline, and Childline deals literally with what children go through. I mean, you'll be amazed when you listen to stories when it comes to Childline where children are phoning in because they're being abused. And so we're dealing with so many charities, and Community Chest, obviously, that deals with early childhood development. So we're dealing with charities that really do phenomenal work in the communities. And every year, we have runners who choose to run for whatever charity that they want to run for out of the 6. And then the runners, they raise funds for their charity as individuals, but also the charities at the expo, which will be opening on Thursday of race week till Saturday, where they have stands, where they have merchandise, memorabilia, where they'll be selling to people who will be coming to the expo. All that fundraising goes towards the Amabidi funds. But also we are so lucky as the Comrades Marathon, where we have our sponsor Toyota, who sponsors a car for us to raffle. So last year, I remember we raffled we made close to R1 million out of raffles for that Toyota winner car competition. And the car was worth just over $500,000. So we did well. All those funds, proceedings, they go towards charities, all our 6 charities. So it is a platform that we need to grow immensely. And it's not going to only take the Comrades Marathon Association, the committee, the charities and the CSI committee, the runners, but the whole South African community needs to plug in and actually be part and parcel of the Comrades Marathon charities. And we actually give these charities the platform to use to actually advertise themselves, because, I mean, Comrades is a big brand, and if a charity is, co-branding with Comrades, it's a huge platform for them to actually make money. But it's going to take us as South Africans, us as runners, and the whole community to actually plug in. And every little counts. You'll be surprised if, everybody donated 50 Rand, how much money we'll be making.
It makes a huge difference.
So that's all I always encourage to people, that it's not about one person raising millions. It's about each person just doing the little that they can, which is as little as 50 Rand, 10 Rand. It means a lot. It counts at the end of the day. So
you're going for your 9th race this year on the 14th of June. Every race that you've done, does the purpose change with every race? Does the motivation change as well with every race?
I think the bigger purpose doesn't change. The purpose, number one, is to celebrate that I'm healthy. Celebrate that I can run. There are people that can't run even if they wanted to. Celebrate that I'm part of this wonderful country, and the Comrades Marathon belongs to us, and just be part of raising that flag high. But then each and every year it changes, in a sense that it depends what am I going through during that year in my life. I mean, there was a year where I had lost my best friend to a kidney disease. So she's been living with that kidney disease for a long time, and she was supposed to get a donor. She ended up not getting a donor, and we lost her. And I remember that year, or it was during COVID, so the following year, I ran with her in my heart because, and she lived in Kloof, which is en route at Comrades. So there are times where I'm running for, there was a time where my brother was getting his green number, and we ran together. So the narrative changed that year, where we are celebrating, and I'm running with this person who actually motivated me and inspired me to run the Comrades, and he's running his 10th. Wow. And he's running with me. And remember, my brother's a fast runner. He's very fast, an hour faster than me, but he decided to run at my pace. It's just to celebrate his milestone. And at the end of the day, also, it's a personal achievement, especially for us at home, because, I mean, we're the first people to run the Comrades Marathon. So I always tell people that never take it as if it's just running. If you look at your own, family tree, you've changed the narrative. you became that hero that actually took on this historical event within your own family. And you never know, the next generation behind you is going to be following through, and it's because of you. So for me, the reasons are vast. It just depends on the year, what is it that is in your heart. But on the bigger scale of things, you know, running the Comrades is always showcasing grits, showcasing who you are as a person. I mean, Comrades is a metaphor of life, really. For me, it's training camp. It's going to camp to train yourself that after Comrades, you're untouchable, you can do all things, nothing can break you. Yes, it's okay to actually fail, but you get up and get going because it's not over. So it's a teaching of that, and it's, for me, I think that's why I've been running every year, because just been teaching me that keep going, life gets tough as you grow older, but you never give up.
You never give up, indeed. After the break, I'm going to ask Nontuthuko to just give us a quick tutorial if you do want to run, even if it's not the Comrades Marathon, because 89 kilometers is no child's play. But at least if you could do, like you're 21, I was challenged actually, Nontuthuko, during the 2 Oceans to at least do it once. So after the break, we're going to get that quick tutorial and wrap up the conversation as we look ahead to the 14th of June, where the Comrades Marathon will be live. And of course, you can catch it on SABC2. We've reached the tail end of Women in Sport Africa with our guest, Vice Chairperson of Comrades Marathon, Nontuthuko Mashimane. Nontuthuko, so you off air, you were even trying to recruit me to get into running. So if someone sitting at home has those ambitions, you know, they perhaps maybe even going through something, and as we've said throughout the show, that running gives people a new space, you know, for either your mental health or just purpose, sometimes, which is what we seek. So just how do I start, you know?
The first thing that people need to acknowledge is that you need to move. Your body needs to move, and it's for your mental health, but it's for your physical health also. If you don't move, then you deteriorate as you get older. So the first thing I would recommend, that if you've never ran before, start with walking. Start with waking up in the morning or any time of the day that suits you, and just go for 30. Don't even go with kilometers, go with time. When I walk for 30 minutes, and just keep going, because once you start doing that, you're finally you're gonna feel uncomfortable. Some people feel like, oh, my body it just gets hot and I get itchy. You have to get through that hurdle first of just getting the body to move. Once you get the body to move with your 30-minute walk, power walking, then there's this famous pole-to-pole that you do, that you can start jogging to a pole and then walk the other pole, jog the other pole, walk the other pole. Then there's, events around the country or around the world, which are like your park runs.
Yes.
Go to the community and do your park run. What I love about park runs is that you can go with your children, you can walk your dog, you can go there and try and run and walk and improve your time. Then remember, there are races that cater for 5 kilometers. Your Spa Ladies, your APSA, your Hollywood Beds 5K. There's so many races that cater for a 5K. Then you enter a race, then you get into that community and that events. And once you're in the events and you see how fun it is, then that's when you get caught into, maybe let me try 10K. Then you get into the 10K running. And then the rest is history, to be honest, because once you get into the running continuously, and you feel like, if I haven't ran 3 times a week, I feel like I need to do something. Then that's when your body is craving it. And then the rest is history. That's when you find your community around where you live, a club, and you end up training with a whole lot of people with the same mindset as you. And then those are the people who are actually going to help you to actually grow when it comes to the distance that you want to run. And believe me, you'll end up running the Comrades one day.
Sure. I mean, if you've done it 9 times, then you are the person to ask these questions too. But the nutrition as well, which ties into your profession, just the day-to-day of taking care of yourself as a woman specifically, because women also, they get ill differently to your male counterparts.
I mean, I was talking to my patient last night when I was explaining to them that you can give the same program to a man and a woman. A man will do well. They'll lose the weight, they'll be defined, but a woman will be a struggle because a woman's body is totally different from a man. We've got hormones to deal with.
Yeah.
You know, a woman's body it has to be looked after because of what it's gone through and what's still going to go through. So nutrition is very important. And I do educate a lot of runners who are my patients about the importance of making sure what you feed your body is important. You can do the training program to the T, but you find that your body is not executing what is capable of because of what you're feeding it. So you are actually cheating your body from being its best by not feeding it correctly. So nutrition is important to a day-to-day life, but also in a sports life, especially when you're trying to encounter something like the Comrades Marathon. You need to learn how to feed this body. Your body is a vehicle. And if you don't put the proper fuel, you won't get to your destination.
So 14 June is the date. It's the 99th Comrades Marathon and the 50th up run. How special is this one just ahead of the big 100?
You know that you have Christmas Eve?
Yes, this is it.
This is our Eve. You know, this year is very important for us because it's going to, most of the things that we're going to be implementing, we are actually rehearsing for next year.
Yeah.
So some things won't work, and we're expecting them to work or not to work because we are trying them for the first time, but we'd rather rehearse them now than finding out next year that it's not going to work. So there's a lot of activations that we're going to be putting up this year. There's a lot of tweaks that are done here and there, you know, and also, I mean, if you remember when the entries open, they finish within 10 hours, which shows you where the Comrades Marathon is in 2026. Everybody is literally wanting to run this race, and some people want to prepare for next year with this race. And the one thing that is important for us as the CMA is to increase women participation. It is so important. I think that's it's on my to-do list in my leadership to actually try and see how do we increase the women participation. It is very important. It's something that is close to our hearts as CMA to see more women taking part because women can. And you know, science has proven women are better long distance runners than men.
Wow.
I mean, even if you look along the route, you hardly see a woman having issues. Hardly seeing a woman having rub downs and having cramps because the woman's body was designed to take the pain. Our thresholds for pain is very
incredible,
very high. So hence, and also our bodies, we don't burn out easily. And women are very good at pacing themselves. You know, men usually go out fast and furious, and then unfortunately this is the Comrades. It's not a marathon, so you end up bombing out in the middle of the Comrades. Opposed to women where they'll keep the same pace. If you look at women's pacing charts, same pace all the way. And I think that is why we owe it to women to encourage them that yes, they can. And what is it that we can help them with to actually make it easier for them to participate in this wonderful race.
And just your final parting shots ahead of the race, but also just speaking to females, you know, as a female leader yourself, just to keep knocking on those doors and chasing those opportunities fearlessly as Black females.
I think to remind females, women, that, you know, we are the people that bring life. We are the people that make a house a home. Women in history, if you look, all women leadership has shown that a strong woman, all things are possible. And we are very mentally strong. which is what is needed at the Comrades Marathon. You can be physically strong, but if you're not strong mentally, then you will not make it. So with that said, I just want to encourage women that, with what I've said, it's so important for us to understand at the end of the day that we need to support each other.
Yeah.
We need to be there for each other. We need to hold each other accountable. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we need to actually be there to hold each other's hands and encourage each other. I feel that even if you've seen in your own space, in your relationships, the woman that you feel you're close to and they are your safe space, you feel that you can be yourself. Mm-hmm. You feel you can grow. Yeah. But it's the same space as in the running circles. The more circles we make, where we make women comfortable to be part of those circles, we make women welcome. We make women understand that if I can do it, yes, you can. Mm. It's nothing special about me. It's something special about women, and you are a woman, and you can. Yeah. And one thing I don't want to take away from men is that we need men to empower us. We cannot empower each other without men around, because men are our protectors. Men are, right now, as you can see, we've got majority males who are coaches. Yeah. So we can't do this without them at the same time. So let's make the space friendly, lovable, and achievable for all women.
Nontuthuko, thank you so much for such an inspirational 2 episodes, and I think we need another one. Our guest today on Women in Sport Africa is Nontuthuko Mashimane, Vice Chairperson of the Comrades Marathon. And remember, you'll be able to catch the race live on SABC2 from the 14th of June. But it is a weekend affair, building up from the week up until race day. And of course, at SABC, you're able to be part of these from radio to TV. Thank you so much for joining us for yet another incredible episode of Women in Sport Africa. Have a lovely evening further.